Hey everybody, welcome to KimmelsIrishFelt.com. It's me, Jeff. Guess what? It's time for another movie review. Tonight's movie is War for the Planet of the Apes. Who's excited? I'm excited. I love Tuesdays. My second favorite day after Friday and Saturday and Sunday football. Whatever. I'm excited because these movies come out on DVD and I get to rent them and watch them. So War for the Planet of the Apes, it's a third story in a trilogy of a prequel. So there was the old Heston Planet of the Apes, which really blew everybody's minds, and then Mark Wahlberg made a remake of that. I think there was also a bunch of TV shows that were involved in that, but then they came out with Planet of the Apes, this series, which is basically how they became the Planet of the Apes, and this is the third installment. When they came out with that first movie with James Franco, I thought, what an excellent idea, and I thought it was a great movie. The second one, I don't remember liking it so much, but I'm really excited about the third one. IMDb has it at a 98. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics had it at 93% fresh, and the users had it at 85% fresh. There's some voices in it. The only actor, Woody Harrelson, I believe, is in this. I'm not sure if anybody else is. I don't know. But I'm going to start watching it here. I'm not even going to read you the synopsis because you know what it's about. It's about the Planet of the Apes and how they become the Planet of the Apes. So I'm going to start watching it here. Check back in. Hopefully I don't turn back into an ape myself. See you in a little bit. Sorry, I got to jump in here real quick because I did a poor job of leading you into this movie because of all my excitement and explaining what happened in the first two movies. And luckily, when you watch this movie, you'll get that explanation right in the beginning. So the first one was Rise of the Planet of the Apes. If you remember, that's the one with James Franco. And that's where they start creating the intelligent apes. And then the disease takes out a lot of humanity. So forgot about that, but that's what happens in that one. Then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and that's where they're kind of trying to coexist. Most of humanity is gone, but the apes are there, and they're trying to coexist, but it doesn't work out. Koba starts an attack on the rest of them, and so now this is the war for the Planet of the Apes, and that's the next movie, which is coming after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But I thought that would help remind you, and you'll see that in the beginning of this, but that's a little backstory for you. And now I'm going to get back into watching the movie, and I'm really excited. Alright, see you in a little bit. Hey everybody, time for a quick check-in here. It's at the 1 hour, 7 minute mark of War for the Planet of the Apes. Give you some background on what's been going on with the movie. Essentially, a bunch of soldiers attack their hideout where Caesar, I forgot to mention his name, Caesar, and the rest of the apes are currently dwelling. The apes come out victorious. They send the soldiers back and say, let us have the woods. Let's stop all this killing. Sounds fair, but obviously the soldiers, and more importantly Woody Harrelson, does not agree to that, and he attacks them again, killing off certain family members of the apes, which creates this the revenge feeling where Caesar wants to go out now and just find Woody Harrelson and take care of him to avenge his family and things like that. And so that's the gist of the story. That all happens right in the beginning, so I'm not spoiling anything. Along the way, along their journey to find this colonel, they run into a little girl who is a mute, and they bring her along, which adds a little different element to the story. And then they also run into another ape or monkey that can talk, that they don't recognize. So that's interesting. Where did he come from? How did he learn how to talk? Those types of things. And he has a different kind of personality. Now, it's nothing crazy, but it's funny. And I'll give it to you. I don't think it's going to spoil it, but it's cute, So they're all apes, and they just walk around as apes. Well, this guy puts on a vest, a little hat, you know what I mean? And gives thumbs up. So I like that aspect of it. It was funny, bringing in a little humor to the story. But real good so far. I don't want to get into too much and spoil it for you, but that's where we are right now at the 1 hour and 7 minute mark. It's a 2 hour and 20 minute movie, so maybe I'll stop in again, maybe I won't. you'll have to just tune in and see what I do. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of War for the Planet of the Apes. Very entertaining, worth the 2 hours and 20 minutes that you put into it. You know, sometimes movies just drone on. You know, they probably could have made it a little bit shorter, but not too bad. Some of the things, the criticism, one of the things I didn't like, and it's just me here, this isn't like a film critic type stuff, it's more of a personal preference, but let me let you know that you start to root for the apes very early on in the film. And in the beginning of the film, when the humans are attacking them in their hideout, they have traitor apes. You know, apes who have defected from the gathering and have joined the human soldiers to help the war on the apes. And at the point, it's like, oh, okay, these are good people because I'm a human, so I'm going to root for the human race. And I mentioned earlier what happens in that whole thing, and then how the apes are struggling to survive and move forward. And then, as the movie goes on, there's more traitor apes, as I'm calling them. And I didn't really like that. You know, I didn't like how they turned on their own kind there. So that was, you know, again, nothing wrong with the film, just things that I didn't like about it. As I mentioned, you start right away and you start rooting for the apes and you really feel for them. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. Interestingly enough, I thought a little bit different than other films. There was some cutesy aspects of this. There's a lot of baby apes in the movie that you really feel for, and then in addition to that, you know, like I mentioned, there's some new characters, so there's a little bit of cutesiness there, a little bit of humor that wasn't in the other two. You know, so it depends on how you feel. I think it's good for, you know, wives, and maybe not children so much. You know, maybe too violent for children, depending on their age. But overall, it was good. And now, get into a little bit of the spoilers here, so if you want to stop it right now, like I mentioned, it's an 8. Thanks for joining. If you want to continue listening. Okay, so you're continuing to listen here. Here's the only thing I don't understand about it. So, the war to make the Planet of the Apes, sure, the apes are involved, but it's really against the humans against each other. So, Woody Harrelson starts his own militia, essentially, and then has the army come and fight them or something like that, whatever. The army, of course, takes them all down with the help of the apes, luckily, and Caesar and the gang. But then an avalanche takes over that army. Okay, great. What about the rest of civilization? Is the only thing left are these two armies? That wasn't explained well enough for me, and that's a flaw for me in this portion of the movie. You know, other than that, I thought it was really good. Now, it was just one thing at the end that I didn't really enjoy and didn't understand completely. I think they could have done a better job. I want it to end, and that's it. There's no human race on the planet Earth, and it's just the apes. But I have a feeling that there's more humans out there. Maybe they are savage enough for another movie. I doubt it, though. But who knows? I don't know. That's my analysis for you. We're going with an 8. I want to thank you for joining. KimmelsIrishPub.com. Nothing left on this planet but apes.